Well, hi, I'm Jamie Lewis, and welcome to my, I don't know if you can see, very messy home studio. You can see there's wires and cables and symbols. There's just junk everywhere. I've been very busy, a lot of soldering, a lot of patching. But what I want to do today is show you this guy back here. There it is. That's the touchscreen console that I just finished making. And I've been promising that I would do a tour of it and just show you what I did and how I put it together. So that's what I'm going to do today. So here, let's check it out. So there it is. This is a 55-inch 4K 12-point multi-touch touchscreen. I guess that'd be the first thing to show you is yes, it is a touchscreen. I apologize if the camera's all wacky because I'm trying to do two things at once here. I'm trying to touch the screen and make sure you guys can all see it. So, you can do anything that you would normally do with a mouse. I can mute things. I can solo them. I can record enable. It's going to let me know, hey, that's not ready. Whatever. I can do plug-in editing, right? I can adjust things. Whoops, there's the camera. Right? I mean, it's really responsive. There is some latency to a degree. I think it's more obvious if I'm rocking it on one of these faders here, right? You can see it's a little bit behind my finger just because my graphics card is a little bit slow for what I'm trying to do with this. Whoops, I'm screwing up. My graphics card is just a little bit under what the 4K resolution can handle. So if I put a better graphics card, the latency would be less of an issue, but it's really not a problem. It's like I said, what this is this is a Samsung 55-inch 4K television set. It's just a TV that I then put this PQ Labs. This is a G4S touchscreen infrared overlay. So this is laid over on top of the television, and it's got like some sticky tape or something that really keeps it all in place. It's kind of crazy actually. But so that's just an infrared touchscreen. Now, like I said, this is multi-touch, but Pro Tools is not a multi-touch app, right? So you can see I can grab one fader here. If I try to grab another one, you can see it's recognizing the point touch, right? You see that little circle on my finger? So the PQ Labs is recognizing that another touch, and I could have 3 of them, I could have 4 or 5, I could have 12 of them all together. But Pro Tools, you can only do one mouse click at once. So you see it won't let me do both of them at the same time. That's something I'll have to figure out and design some sort of overlay that'll work in a software mode. But so anyways, that's it. Like I said, it's a 55-inch 4K television screen. So 4K, you can see how much information I've got on this screen, right? I mean, there's like, I don't know, 50 faders or something like that. And I've also got, the timeline up there, and I've got the MIDI roll over there. And if I go to, I'll explain this in a second. If I go to one of my other screen views, look, that's the timeline and how much information you could store. So you can just literally see your whole entire project. It's really, really cool. But yeah, so I guess what I'll do now is I'll just kind of explain the components of the console to you. I guess starting up here at the top, this is a webcam, some sort of Logitech something or other. As you can see, there's no window. We're in a bedroom in my house. Hey, look at that. This is a bedroom. There's the window, right? So there's no windows in here. The live room is on the other side of this wall. And to communicate with the performers, rather than having a window, I use a talkback mic, a listen back mic, and we Skype. So I'll pull them up on an iPad or something, and that way I can see them, they can see me. It just makes it a little bit easier. So that's what the webcam is for. Over here, this is one of my inputs. It's an 1/8-inch jack that you could plug into your phone, your iPad, a laptop computer, and that runs into this guy over here. This is a Dangerous Monitor. Monitor ST is what it's called. And so it has 3 different sets of speakers and a subwoofer, and then 4 different sets of inputs. So I can select my Pro Tools mix, and that'll come out of whichever monitors are engaged. This right here is that 1/8-inch jack. So, again, if you plugged in something, you're like, hey, I want my mix to sound like this, or I'm trying to recreate this track, and you have it on your iPad or your iPhone or whatever, we can just plug it in and we can cue it up and listen to it and compare it to the mix that we're recording. Pretty handy. Over here, this is the computer, right? So this is Pro Tools mix, right? And if I want to listen to something like, I don't know, maybe Spotify, right? Just pull up a track. Who's this guy, right? So now we got a Spotify mix coming out of the main monitors. Just a little bit of shameless self-promotion. Anyways, and then this right here would be for a CD player. Like I said, there's 3 different sets of monitors. So these are the main speakers right there. I can turn up the volume with this. Right, those sound great. I've got an alternate set, which are these guys down here. These are speakers that I jacked out of a MacBook Pro. Right here. Oops, sorry. Right there and right there. So if you want to hear what your mix sounds like on a bad phone or on a set of laptop speakers, you know, I could instantly, if I'm on the Pro Tools mix, right, we're pressing play and we're listening. Let me get back to this. You know, I could hear what it sounds like on a set of good speakers and then on a set of not so good speakers. And then my third one is a set of these guys right here. These are Sennheiser HD 800 cans. They're coming out of that amplifier down there. And those just sound really, really good also. So that's so I can mix late at night when, you know, it's too loud. This right here is a talkback mic, just some Bayer Dynamic. Can I zoom in on that? What does that say? Yeah, that's what it is. So that's so when I hit this button over here, yeah, that's a talkback mic, and it's also got a listen back mic built in. So you know, if you're working with a drummer or something, you're not screaming at them through the overhead mics. So what did I say? Webcam, MacBook speakers. Okay, yeah, this is the 1/8 inch jack. Now these guys right here are kind of. Let me see if I can give you. I custom made these. These are Pro Tools specific. Shortcuts, hotkeys, and macros. If you don't know what a macro is, a macro does multiple functions with one keystroke. So like this right here is, you know, okay, so we got play, stop, return to 0. This is a record button, but it doesn't only record. When I hit this, it's the equivalent of on the keyboard going Control period, and then Alt K, then record. And so basically what it's doing is it's doing an undo record right at the beginning, and then it's turning the pre-roll on, it's pressing record, and then it turns the pre-roll off, right? So what's the benefit of that? Well, one thing that I do all the time when I'm recording, right, if I were to press record and you would see it go along and I mess up, it's a bunk take and I don't want to do it. Well, the first thing I would do is I would undo that take, then I would turn the pre-roll on, then I would press record, and then I would turn the pre-roll off, and then I would start recording, right? So I just do that all with, boom, one button. So let me show you what that would kind of look like. If I press this button right here, take a look on the screen, right? I'm going to do a recording on this track. The pre-roll is not on currently. And when I press it, right, there's the guy right there. So it backed it up to the pre-roll. It started recording now. And let's say I decide while I'm tracking that that was a bad take, I want to do it over, right? If I just press this button, watch what it's going to do. It undoes it. It backs it up, turns the pre-roll on, and then turns the pre-roll off. So now if I like this take, right, I don't need to turn the pre-roll off. I can just press play. It'll start going again. So there's just a handful of things on this guy and on this guy that do some stuff like that. A few custom buttons. This right here turns the metronome off. That is a TARDIS because my wife is a huge Doctor Who fan. This is my delete button. It's a Cyberman, again, because my wife is a huge Doctor Who fan. So those are the macro beds. This right here is another macro bed, but I haven't programmed it yet, but this is for video editing. So these two are particular to Pro Tools functions. This one over here will be, where is it? This one over here will be for video editing, for using Premiere. There's still a keyboard here if you need it, but honestly, I mean, you can pretty much run the whole ship just from these guys and doing the touch functions. And then over here again, a mouse. Again, it is 55 inches, and so these places up here are kind of hard to reach. They're really far away, right? So if I'm sitting, I mean, here's where I am, and that's where I got to get to go. So it is still beneficial to have a mouse for things that are too far away, or also for things that are too small. Because remember, this is a 4K resolution. It's a huge amount of real estate and a huge amount of information on the screen, but that's still, you know, that makes some things difficult. Then over here again, this is the monitor controller that just kind of ties the whole thing together. The only other thing that I'm still kind of working on is this guy down here, and this is a set of, I don't know if I can focus in on that. These are software macros that I've programmed, or that I started programming. I haven't finished them yet. But basically what these do is the same sort of thing here. They're just macros, but they're on the touch screen. So this one right here takes me to my mixer window, right? When I hit that, it shows me all those faders, gives me a little bit of the timeline, shows me my piano roll. This one here should take me to my MIDI setup, right? So these are just screenshots. I've got some other one here. This one will create a mono audio track for me. Whoops, let's see if I can see that. When I press it, right? So it just created a new audio track. So these are just kind of macro functions that I can kind of custom tailor to my workflow and what I'm trying to do with Pro Tools. And that's kind of what the whole thing looks like. I don't have enough room in here to back up and really give you the full view. But a buddy of mine, he's a carpenter, and just did a killer job putting the whole thing together. I like the colors that he chose and everything. It looks really, really nice. If I were to turn the screen off, you can see there are fingerprints aplenty. So, I mean, it is kind of hard to keep it clean because, I mean, you're touching it so much. But I turn it back on. Where is it? Yeah, if I turn it back on, I mean, as soon as there's information on the screen, you really can't tell. Glare isn't so much an issue. I know you can see a lot of your reflection, and obviously, like, you can see the window over there. But, you know, when you're sitting right here and you're looking at it, I mean, you don't see a reflection or anything. It's angled, I think, at about 40 degrees. So, anyways, that's it. Like I said, 55-inch 4K touchscreen. It really wasn't that hard, wasn't that complicated, totally custom, and that's what I like to do. So anyways, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find, you know, a whole bunch of bass lessons, recording videos, performances, just all the different stuff that I do. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you and find out what you guys are doing. So take care, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.